Shalom, and thank you so very much for being at the fundraiser tonight. I wish that I could be there in person. Instead, we have to do the next best thing, which is video. But thank you so much for coming and for supporting the Israeli Rett Syndrome Organization, who in turn partners with us, the Rett Syndrome Research Trust, to fund the various projects that we are pursuing. Since 2008, the Israeli organization has given $2.5 million to RSRT and has partnered with us to be able to support the large portfolio of projects that we are now pursuing. We are so appreciative for this partnership because it means that we can fund more research, and more research will get us to the goal that we share, which is a cure for our precious girls. So thank you so very much. I thought I would give you just a glimpse into some of the projects that we're pursuing and why we are excited. So we're funding a rather comprehensive portfolio of projects. On the one hand, we fund basic science, for example, the MECP2 Consortium, which are 3 elite labs who before were competing and who now are working together to try and understand what the Rett syndrome protein does. We're funding projects that are aimed at trying to activate a backup copy of MECP2 that is silent in the cells of our daughters, but that could be reactivated and could replace the malfunctioning gene and could then start to produce protein, which we feel could really reverse the symptoms of Rett syndrome. So we're funding a variety of labs who are pursuing this approach. We're funding a gene therapy consortium, which is made up of 4 laboratories who, again, before were competing with each other and who now are working collaboratively, and each of which brings a unique skill set. And together, we think that these 4 labs have all of the talents and infrastructure needed, we hope, to be able to get to clinical trials. And they are now addressing the very key experiments that need to happen before clinical trials. We're pursuing a large project aimed at trying to find alterations in other genes that can make the MECP2 mutation, the Rett syndrome mutation, less severe. And that's a project that's leading us to a number of what we call modifier genes, genes that suppress the ill effects of having an MECP2 mutation. We're also funding clinical trials. We've just awarded funding to 2 additional trials, which we'll be announcing in the next month or 2. So it's a really exciting time for Rett syndrome research. We're also finding that for the very first time, industry is also quite interested. Industry has kind of moved away from blockbuster drugs, things like Prozac, for example, and they've been moving steadily towards rare disease. There's lots of reasons why they're doing this, but the bottom line, it's quite important for diseases like Rett syndrome. And so because we have a gene, because we have really good animal models, because we know that Rett syndrome is reversible, at least in mice models, this puts us in a very good position to garner the interest of industry, and that is finally happening. And the areas that they are interested in come from areas that RSRT and the Israeli group together have funded over the last 5 to 10 years. So it kind of confirms that we're on the right track, and we have to keep doing what we're doing because there's so much more research that has to happen. So again, I want to thank you so very much for being here tonight, for supporting research, for believing in what we're doing. I want to thank Lori and Josh Goldberg. I want to thank Lilit and Shmoylik Ziesman and Sigal and all of the families that work so hard to give our girls a better future. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I hope that one day I might be able to come to Israel and to thank you in person. Good night.